It is day 23, and I want to talk about an idea that I heard in a sermon probably about a year ago. Popped in my mind recently. I think it's a pretty good topic to digest and kind of marinate on a little bit, but it's called hurry sickness. We live in a world where it seems like we're more distracted than ever. We've got so many different distractions, and we're also more hurried than ever. And based on, our phones and Wi-Fi and the internet, it seems like we should be the most connected generation of all time. But I guess when you look into studies and just talk to people and kind of my anecdotal conversations that I have, it just seems like a lot of times people are the most anxious, worried, stressed, and disconnected than they've ever been before. And so this idea of hurry sickness really struck me in this sermon. It's always kind of stuck with me. But we've got this mentality, and I guess it's subconscious. We're certainly not trying to achieve this daily, but we're always just rushing from one thing to another. And there's people in my life I think about that are more this way than others, but just those people that, unfortunately for them, it just feels like life lives them. It's like, and I've been this way too, like totally in my life. I'm not throwing any stones, because it's easy for all of us to fall into this, where we're so darn worried about our schedule and we're running from this thing to this thing to this thing. Oh, we forgot about this thing. And then you're just constantly checking the next thing off the box. And by the way, like, it is awesome to live a valuable and a life that's filled with things to do. And especially if they're good things, you don't want to just be sitting at home, because on the opposite side of that, it's not good to just not have anything on a schedule, because then someone can fall into isolation and they're just eating chips on the couch, watching Netflix all day long. So you definitely want to be out there and you want to be doing things, but how in the midst of stacking our schedule, how can we still be very intentional? I talked about a few videos ago, just signing that contract with ourselves on the things that are important to us. How do we not budge, and how do we not get off track with still investing in ourselves and our relationship with God more than anything, more than other people's invitations to us for events, or more than just the distractions in life that we so easily can fall into. So again, the hurry sickness thing, I think you could talk about that and break that down for probably hours, but hopefully getting my point across enough in this video that we have this illness now, that we're so busy and we're so distracted that we can often get so off track. And I think that's why just these videos and going to the gym and all these little daily habits that I preach about, that I think are important, and obviously like reading the Bible, etc. Those things, when you just sign the contract with yourself and you say, I'm not budging. Like, I don't care how many times Purdue's playing this week, which is the team that I follow. I don't care how many birthday parties I got going on. I don't care, how many work meetings there are. Like, I'm still, above all else, going to invest in my relationship with God, and I'm going to invest in the things that I know serve my temple and my mind well. And just, that's been a total rewiring of my mind. I'm not there yet, but definitely in the last handful of months, slowing down and getting away from the hurry sickness is probably the best investment that I think I can make, and hopefully that inspires others to at least contemplate that. The quote that I have though today is, "Hurry is the root problem underneath so many of the symptoms of toxicity in our world." And I just feel like I can relate to that, and I see it in other people as well. When you're just so darn distracted by everything you got going on in your life, and you get hyper focused about your schedule and your tasks and your things, well, one, you're simply just not gonna love other people nearly as well, because you're gonna just become self-consumed in your own issues and in your own schedule. And then also, like, you're going to have this mindset that not only just shows that you're distracted with other people, but you're gonna really lose sense of like yourself and your attitude. It makes me think of those people that like get cut off in traffic. I use that example pretty often, but like someone that just flips their lid, loses it, complains about it to their family for 2 hours, and they're just, going off the rails because of a simple, hey, they got held up in traffic or someone's driving slow in front of them. Like, I get it. I'm a human. I'm impatient as they come at times. But again, diving into the Word, listening to what God really has for my life, like, I'm very convicted and reminded, like, those simple things that can knock us off track in a day, they're so meaningless. And the people that are just the most distracted seemingly are the ones that get the most caught up in the pitfalls of things like that, like those minute distractions that really in the grand scheme should not knock us off track on the way we're treating people or our mindset for that given day. The scripture I have today is just one verse in Proverbs chapter 16 verse 32, and it says, better a patient person than a warrior, one with self-control than one who takes a city. And it's just that idea that self-control and being present and being disciplined and all of those synonyms, they're so much more important in the grand scheme than what I would call the conquest. For us to go and achieve all of these things that are on our schedule and become, the most influential person, or the person that's making the most money, or the person that has the greatest reputation in town, or the most followers on social media. Like, man, if I would have known that a little bit sooner in my life, because now this world, especially with kids growing up with social media and influences that, they're being told, it's like, and by the way, like I always talk about, it's great to be gritty and it's great to want to grow and to achieve all your freaking hopes and dreams. I love that. But if someone is just so distracted and self-consumed by the conquest of what they have going on in their day or in their life, but they lack self-discipline or self-control, or they're not treating others with respect, then all of that conquest is for loss. So I think it all just kind of ties into the hurry sickness problem that we can easily fall into. Again, I've been victim of it. And then just lastly, the last thing I have written down is, like, I was looking up the date when the first iPhone was released. It was June 29th of 2007. And I was listening to this audiobook the other day, and it was talking about the date that boredom officially died. Boredom died on June 29th, 2007. So it's not just the busy schedule and all the things that we have, that us and our kids have on our schedule that make us hurry sick, but I almost think that it's also the distractions as well as the busy schedule that can make us kind of have this sick mentality, because now we are busy and we're used to being so busy with our schedule, and then any downtime that we really should spend what I would call like micro learning, what I would call like investing in our relationship with God or investing in our body, like things that are actually really useful. Because you're not always going to have like 5 hours a day to do those things. A lot of times it's 15 minutes here, 30 minutes here. When the iPhone was released, it feels like now more than ever, as phones become just so prevalent, internet, social media, etc., we are not investing time in ourselves at all. We're just investing in scrolling and boredom. So just not a huge punchline there, other than the fact that if we can recognize that we are hurry sick and we're distracted and we don't allow ourselves to just be bored, so that then prompts us to contemplate what we need to do better. How can we invest in ourselves? Like, if we're not going there, then we're probably going to be more likely to just continue to fall in this hurry sickness trap. So don't do that. Invest in yourself. Be present. Be self-disciplined. And that's day 23.